Hi, my name is Koen. I'm a certified personal trainer and breathwork coach from the Netherlands. And for the past 8 years, I've been living abroad, helping dozens of people one on one and hundreds more through online coaching, different workshops, and retreats to be healthier and live their best life. And in this video, I'm going to reintroduce myself to share a little bit about my journey, where I am today, but most of all, also my plans to rebuild my life at the age of 35 to make sure that I feel my best and live a fulfilling life as well. So back in 2017, so 9 years ago already, I suddenly lost my job as a retail manager, a career that I devoted nearly 10 years of my life to. I was almost 27 back then, and I remember how burned out I was back then. But I didn't want to admit it. I was living such an unhealthy lifestyle. I was living off Red Bulls and cigarettes and frozen pizzas and ready-made meals and always on edge, always agitated. When that career came to an end, even though painful, it was really a blessing in disguise because now I suddenly had the opportunity to start focusing on myself again. And even though I had no clue what to really do with myself or in what direction I wanted to take my life in at that point, I did know I had to get back to myself. And the most sensible thing that I could think of in that moment was just to start going to the gym more and trying to eat healthier. Because the truth was that I was a super picky eater. I barely ate any vegetables. I ate just a handful of different meals on repeat over the months, trying to figure out how to do this healthier lifestyle. I discovered what big of a passion I actually had for it. And the more I started to go to the gym, the more I started to see the efforts that I was putting in paying off in how my body was changing and how much better I was starting to feel about myself, how my confidence was improving. I thought, hey, why not take it up a notch?
Okay, let's take this up a notch.
Learn a little bit more about this and actually become a personal trainer. And that's what I did. But what I didn't know was what it would lead to. And that was that fitness and the way that my body looked really quickly turned into an obsession. An obsession about how much calories I was eating, about my fat percentage, about the way that my body was looking, constantly tracking and obsessing over it, which ultimately really wasn't sustainable at all because I still didn't really feel confident. I still didn't really like the way that my body was looking. And all I did was go to the gym and party on the weekends. So when I moved abroad, that intense focus of fitness and my physique slowly faded over time because the way I was approaching it was just not sustainable. And the reason underneath it was much more fueled by guilt and self hatred than love and the just the willingness to be better and improve myself. And yes, some parts worked. In some parts, I did feel more confident. Yes, in some parts, I was living much healthier than I was before. But ultimately, I lost the far majority of the physique I had built up in that time. And when a friend came to visit me in Mallorca, where I was working that summer season, I saw this picture of myself and I was quite shocked. I was quite shocked about letting it all go again and having worked for something so hard and seeing myself back to square zero. And right there in that moment, I knew I had to do things differently, that I needed a approach that could withstand the busyness of life that was fueled by compassion and self love rather than self destruction, and a system that would actually fit in my life and would allow me to feel my absolute best. So, fast forward 5, 6 years. I'm in Slovenia. A long-term relationship just ended. I'm by myself in a foreign country where I still don't really speak the actual language, but I still have some friends. I still have a remote job that is keeping me sustained and going. And for the next year, while I try to rebuild myself, figure out what it was that I wanted to do with myself, I went deep into nervous system regulation and breathwork. And even though I was already a certified breathwork coach for a couple years prior to that, I never unlocked its full potential. When a year later, my stable job suddenly came to an end as well, I find myself once again at this crossroad. What am I gonna do? Is this the point where I will be going all in on my business, or is this the point where I play safe? I think you can guess the answer. So, where are we now? This is a pretty epic spot, I would say. Nice little waterfall close to the retreat where I'm actually working this year as a retreat manager in the south of Spain, about a 40-minute drive from Malaga. And I am so grateful to be here because this is literally my dream come true. This is what I wish to be doing 9 years ago when I left the Netherlands. I always imagined one day I would be living at a retreat center, maybe having my own hosting retreats with other people. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. I don't have my own retreat place yet, but I did get hired by someone who does and hired me to run the place, to manage the property, do maintenance, to whatever is needed to facilitate the guest. And on the side of that, I'm also co-hosting a couple of retreats this year together with some amazing people that I will share more about in another video. But where am I now? Where is this leading to? And what about my own plans to make sure that I feel my best as well? Because to be honest, the past 2 years they left their mark as well. The ending of the relationship, the stressful job, worries about money, if I would be able to pay my bills. It definitely made me worry a lot more in general than I did years ago. I see I am a bit more impatient with myself, but also with others. And see some of those patterns like getting agitated, like I had in the past when I was working this stressful job in retail, still coming back sometimes. And it frustrates me because I feel like I'm the person that needs to know better. Having helped so many people, having done so much work on myself, having studied so much, and still I face these problems sometimes where I let my emotions get the best of me. And that is something that I really want to break free from. But not just that, also physically, even though that I move quite a lot, I am working out very, very regularly. And I have been doing that for many years. I still see that the sedentary lifestyle that I've been mainly living for the past years has been creeping up on me. And I've been definitely feeling a lot more tight in my hamstrings, my hips, but also just having sometimes these weird pains that I cannot really explain or know where they're coming from. For the past 2 months since being back here in Malaga have been all about just getting back to myself and re-establishing my routines. I've been quite consistent with doing my breath work in the mornings, taking some time to stretch and do mobility so that I feel a lot better. I've been noticing that I already feel in these 2 months a bit calmer again. My sleep is getting better, and especially the lower back pain that I would have a lot when waking up previously is getting better as well. So in these videos, I will be sharing not just the behind the scenes footage of what we actually do in the retreat, what we all did over the past months to get the place ready, and what I will continue to do on a day-to-day basis to facilitate the guests and make sure that we have an amazing season here. I will also share different topics of my life. So how I view nutrition and what I do to build muscle, to feel the active life that I'm living here, as well as the mindset, the breathwork and nervous system regulations tips that I use for myself and my clients, and how I train. So if you are interested in that and want to see a lot more of that, then make sure to subscribe to this channel, because there will be a lot more coming, and I would love to give you a peek behind the curtain into my life in a little bit more of an intimate setting. And that's why I like YouTube, because it just gives me the time to talk a little bit more, to show a little bit more in depth of what works for me. And hopefully you can take some inspiration from that and implement some simple changes into your life as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day.